Hi everyone, today I'm going to review a 4-hour seminar that I attended last week by none other than Tony Robbins himself. It was a Success Resources multi-speaker event and he was the final speaker, and it was fantastic to be in the room with him again. I have been to Unleash the Power Within and that was a decade ago, and I had a blast. All Tony's seminars are so much fun. He cranks the room, he pumps it, it's just fantastic. And from Unleash the Power Within, which was 10 years ago, the main takeaway that I got out of that was it got me back into exercise. So we went as a family. My daughter came, she was 12 at the time, she's now 22, and there was a big emphasis on the final day on health, and that really inspired me, and I got back into exercise, and I got into this program called Slow Burn. There was a book called Slow Burn, and it was a way to get back into exercise, and it was really effective. And then since then I've never looked back. So that was 10 years ago. So thanks, Tony, for that. And so I hadn't seen him for a decade, and it was great because I realized how much I've changed in that 10 years, and obviously so many things have happened and many changes for me. And so I am going to refer to my notes because I really want to share the essence. But if you get a chance to go to any one of his events, he's absolutely fantastic and I highly recommend it. And he does Unleash the Power Within every year, and every year in September. So he comes to Australia twice a year. Now, Tony is someone who plays a very long game. He's been running these events for years and years and years and years, and he's now 59. So here are just some quick things that I got out of it that I'll try and be quick to share. So what he spoke about was that energy is the most important thing, and we need to be able to learn to strengthen it, build it and maintain it. So then he went on and he said, so he speaks about preparing our bodies so that our mind can absorb information, and that's why he's really big in the seminars on lots of like jumping and cheering, and so it's like this real celebration. And he says changing energy or changing our energy is just a decision. So I'll talk in the I. He said, and this is what makes the difference in the quality of our lives. So he says that the law of familiarity is something that we really have to fight, that humans just revert back to what's familiar. It's just like a pattern for all of us. And he said that focus on where I want to go, not what I'm afraid of. So often if we change our focus, we've got a better chance of getting there. And a lot of the time we focus on what we're afraid of, and that's debilitating and holds us back. So I thought that was important. He said we don't need a reason to feel good. Joy, excitement, ecstasy. If I want more of this, I have to do this. I've got to bring it into my life. And he said that, often we're afraid that if I'm too happy, people won't like me and that I won't let myself feel good. And he spoke about the tall poppy syndrome, which is something that Australians and New Zealanders kind of have grown up with. And he said, feel great, experience celebration, and why not? And so that the events just really are full of celebration, full of joy, full of fun, and they're really heart opening. And by the end of the 4 hours, we're like hugging strangers, and it's just a blast. So it's really fun. And it was really interesting because I could feel my own resistance, like even at going. Like there was a part of me that didn't want to go to the event. And I was kind of resisting, and I was like, I've been to Tony Robbins, but actually I'm so glad I went. And someone gifted me a ticket. It was a lady called Marlena, who's a makeup artist. So I'm incredibly grateful to Marlena because it really was a mindset shift. And we had to do an exercise on what does an extraordinary life mean for me, and that was really powerful. And then he spoke about mastering skills. So he said, if we want something, there's the science of achievement, then there's focus, focusing our mind, and then obviously taking massive action, because you can't achieve anything unless we take action. But then one really important thing he spoke about was grace, which was the more I acknowledge grace or spirituality, something greater than myself, that does play a part, he said, in in achieving things. And then he went on to speak about mastering the art of fulfillment. And he said that appreciation and joy in my life, like, it's very specific to each of us, but that if we don't master the art of fulfillment, that achieving things simply for the sake of achieving our goals is empty unless we know how to experience fulfillment, and that's going to be different for all of us. And he spoke about making the decision, make the real decision to end suffering. So then he sort of spoke about suffering, which I've never heard him speak about before, and he talked about how he's connected with these people in India that he goes to visit. And so we had to identify our top 2 flavors of suffering or emotions that we tend to use the most that make us feel bad. So he says the quality of our lives is based on the thoughts, and he spoke about the 90-second rule, which is kill off the suffering, or kill off the thought before it makes me suffer. And that instead of suffering, we can replace that with appreciation. And that was great to hear again. And 3 things that cause suffering is the fear of loss, fear of less, and the fear of never. And if I want to change my life, I need to trade my expectation for appreciation and find beauty in the little things. And if I'm richer emotionally, I'm going to be richer financially. And then one other thing, which was a great takeaway for me, was that the reason we want something is because we want to feel a certain way. And so he said that if we can train ourselves to feel that thing regardless, we can be happy all the time, rather than feeling like, oh, I'm unhappy because I don't have that thing, and I'm only going to be happy until I get it. And then once we get it, it's kind of a letdown, and then it's like, well, I'm going to have to get the next thing. And so that's that trap of achievement. And so though they were the main takeaways. I love the event. I love Tony. Success Resources are very, very professional. So it was a fantastic event, multi-speaker, so many inspiring speakers. And I will catch you soon, and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your experiences with Tony Robbins. And there's amazing stuff on YouTube, by the way, like stacks and stacks of really great stuff if you just put his name into the search. Catch you soon.